This is a Forum mini PC from 2023. Furthermore, it is a barebone, which means that it is not fully assembled and functional. It comes with a CPU and an integrated GPU, as well as a PSU with a cable. The box also contains a HDMI cable, a wall mount, the manual, and of course a case with multiple ports. In this case, the RAM and the drives are missing. On the front we have the power button, two USB ports and an audio jack. On the back we have the connection for the power supply, a LAN port, the HDMI port, the DisplayPort socket, the USB 4 port and two USB ports. To install the RAM and the drives, turn the mini PC upside down. Carefully remove the device bases as they are glued to the bottom. Underneath 4 screws can be found. They need to be unscrewed and removed. Afterwards, the button can be opened by carefully lifting up the plate. Normally you have to unplug the fan. I decided against this because the plug looked very fragile. The first step is to remove the screws that can be used for mounting the two drives. The bare one supports up to 2 M.2 drives with PCI Express version 4. Furthermore, it supports DDR5 RAM up to 5600 MTS. For that, there are 2 RAM slots available. For this mini PC I used a 2 TB via 5000 SSD from Verbatim as the second drive. For the Windows installation, and therefore the boot drive, I used a Lexar NM710 with about 500 GB. To install the drives, put them correctly into the slots with the notch in the right place. The drives will have an angle of about 30 degrees. Then push them down softly until they lie on the stand for the screw. Check if the drive is properly in the slot and then fix it with the screw. Repeat that with the second drive. For the RAM, I decided to install a 32 GB kit of Kingston DDR5 RAM with 5600 MTS. As I already mentioned, there are 2 slots available. Installing the RAM is similar to the drive installation. Again, watch out for the notch. The only difference is that there are clips instead of screws. The next step is to attach the bottom plate back to the case. Then put back the screws into the holes and fix them. Finally, glue the device stands back into the cutouts. After that, connect the device to a monitor, a mouse and a keyboard. Then connect the power supply and start the mini PC. If it boots up to the BIOS, everything is fine. The final steps are to install the operating system, but if you need a wireless connection, you need to download the driver package from the support site first to install the driver. The old PC has a hexa-core CPU from AMD inside. The motherboard only supports PCI Express 2. The GPU is a NVIDIA RTX 4060 that supports PCI Express 4. Instead of 16 lanes, it only supports 8 lanes, which halves the transfer rate. From my point of view, this leads sometimes to small sudden stops when opening a browser or an app. Furthermore, 16 GB of DDR3 RAM are used as well as a 500 GB SATA SSD. The PCI Express feature test from 3D Mark shows what I expected. It only reaches to 0.7 GB per second. The mini PC has an octa-core CPU from AMD inside as well as an integrated GPU, the Radeon 780M graphics. Furthermore, 32 GB of DDR5 RAM are used as well as a 500 GB M.2 SSD. Note that the system is more power limited than the desktop PC. That also means that the mini PC is more efficient for the tasks. Due to the age of the older CPU, it was not possible to start many benchmarks in 3D Mark. Firestrike and Steel Nomad Lite were working, and we can see that those benchmarks mainly rely on the graphics card, and the RTX 4060 is the stronger GPU. Passmark has several categories with multiple tests each. The CPU rating shows that the older CPU has a result that is 87% lower than the other CPU. The 2D graphics rating delivers a surprising result. The integrated GPU reaches a better result than the RTX 4060 by 58%. The rating for the RAM shows a 60% higher result for the newer platform. And of course, the M.2 SSD delivers a better result by beating the SATA SSD by more than 90%. While the 2D graphics test delivered a surprising result, the result for the 3D test was as expected, with the RTX 4060 in lead with almost 46%. The final overall result gives the confirmation that the mini PC is the better option now. Final thoughts on the graphics card from the old system. If the original GPU would still be available, we would talk about a GTX 460, so the RTX card kind of blurred their results.